Question 3. Yesterday, the temperature at noon was 11.4 degrees. By midnight, the temperature had decreased by 15.7 degrees. What was the temperature at midnight? So what do we have? We have the temperature starting out at 11.4 degrees and then decreasing by 15.7 degrees. So it starts off at 11.4 degrees and it decreases 15.4 degrees. If you look at your answers, well, what could it possibly be? You know the answer is going to be negative, right? Because it goes 11.4 minus 15.7. It's more, 15.7 is more than 11.4, but just by a little bit. So the answer is going to be just a little negative. And you can use estimation to be pretty confident it's going to be A. But what if this was a constructed response? We have to know how to get the answer perfectly, right? So if this was a constructed response where we weren't given A, B, C, D, we weren't given the multiple choices, we still need to know how to do the math. And just as before, we can say out of this out of 15.7, decreasing 15.7, how much of it do we need to get back to 0? Well, we need 11.4 of it, right, to get back to 0. So we're going to need 11.4 of it to get back to 0. And everything else we have left is going to be as much negative as we go. So another way to do that is to take the difference between 15.7 and 11.4. So let's just do that. Let's just do 15.7 minus 11.4. 7 minus 4 is 3. Bring down the decimal point, and 5 minus 1 is 4. And the answer is going to be, we have 4.3 to go from 0 to negative. The answer is going to be negative 4.3. And you might know of the rule that when you have two numbers like this, that you add the opposite. You can always add the opposite. And if you have 11.4 plus negative 15.7, you know your answer is going to be negative because negative 15.7 is bigger on an absolute value basis than 11.4. How much is the answer going to be? How much negative are you going to go? We'll just get the difference. So that's what it means by the rule of keep the bigger by absolute value basis, and subtract and get the difference through subtraction. So keep the bigger, so it's going to be negative, and get the difference. But here, I just draw it out on a number line so you can be clear as to what you're doing. You have 11.4, you'll lose 15.7. You know your answer is going to be negative because 15.7 is more than 11.4. And how much negative are you going to go is how much you have left of 15.7 after you get back to 0 by subtracting 11.4. So your answer is going to be negative 4.3.